Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Theological Leftovers. This morning, I want to share an example from my life, and I want to share it because I hope that it'll be helpful as um, we try to address something that I don't even think we realize how serious a challenge it is for us. So the story is this. When I don't want to go into too much detail because it involves my family, but not that I'm not talking about anything terribly sordid or anything, but just the challenges of family life. Um, and this goes back to when I was a younger man, teenager, and in college seminary days. Um, my family had split into two different church bodies, and and that was heavy, I think, on all of our hearts and all of our minds. It still is. We would rather be together, but we don't necessarily believe exactly the same thing. And trying to figure out how to talk about those things was and still is a challenge. How can we address them in a way where it doesn't digress into an argument, where relationships aren't unnecessarily damaged? You probably understand how challenging that is as much as I do. But when I went to college, and especially as I got into the seminary, when we started addressing theology, we started studying who God is and what He has done in relationship to us and who we are. Um, I found that I was sort of hyperfixated. I say I found, but I really didn't find it out to some degree until it was too late. I spent 8 years with incredible libraries and incredible professors, and quite honestly, the opportunity to speak to people who would end up being my colleagues, incredible classmates that I got to live with and eat with, and we could talk theology, and I was so focused on trying to figure out how to address the break in my family, and specific theological issues that I missed a bunch. If the topic wasn't on the topic of that, a topic that related directly to my problem that I was fixated on, then I just wasn't really that interested in it. I mean, I do what I had to do to pass the class and stuff like that, but I didn't find it engaging because there was really one thing that my heart was set on and focusing on. And I missed a lot. I missed so much. Now, the good news is, you know, I books, lectures, conferences, professors that are generous with their time and willing to talk to me still, even though I'm not a paying student anymore. All those things still exist. The colleagues, I have some amazing colleagues, so I get to broaden my horizons, uh, even though it's a little late in coming, I guess. Um, but I missed a lot. I really did. And the other thing is this: not only did I miss a bunch, that hopefully I can recover now, but the fact that I was so focused actually did harm to the thing that I was trying to fix. Right? I was so focused on a particular issue that, for example, instead of looking at the whole wealth of 2,000 years of teaching and preaching and faithful witnesses, um, I was I was I was proof texting my way through everything. I was looking for the magic verse that would, bring about, some sort of great transformation for my family. So my my debating, my arguing, my conversations were not helped by my being hyper fixated. Right. So I didn't do any favors in terms of my relationships with my family, um, because of my focus. So why do I share this with you? Well, because after the election, right, I have noticed the presidential election, I mean, um, before and after, um, I noticed, I guess it was running around in the back of my head, but now it's obvious. And that is that that people see um, trouble, for example, for our country, and they can only think they're fixated on it, and they can only think they only have we only have room for so much, right? And so we are only thinking on things that seem to relate directly to those issues that are put in front of us, and because they're put in front of us, they weigh heavy on our hearts and our minds, um, and and we're fixated on them, and so my encouragement, challenge, if you will, to you today is to break up that fixation a little bit, to broaden your horizons. And most of the time, when people say something like that, broaden your horizons, what they're talking about is listening to new ideas. I don't know that I'm even encouraging that. I'm talking to Christians, and I'm saying to you, the best way that you can avoid the mistake that I made, and the mistake that culturally we seem to be making, this hyperfixation, is um, to use the lectionary. In other words, the assigned readings for the year. Um, we use them on Sunday. Find a church that's using the lectionary, whether it be the 1 year or the 3 year. I don't care about that, but make sure that you're not just reading the parts of the scriptures that you feel like apply to whatever problem is stuck here and constantly, at the center of your thoughts. Allow the scriptures to take you further and deeper into more places, because there's much more than whatever is burdening your heart and your mind. The other thing is, the lectionary, we're talking especially about what happens in the divine service, but just simply whether you use the lectionary during the week, like for example with the Treasury of Daily Prayer, it's a great resource, or just reading through the scriptures. Um, do that. Read through the scriptures. Don't just search the scriptures, which I'm not saying that's wrong, but don't just search the scriptures for a particular topic that you're trying to address. Be wary um, of the topical study, the topical search, the topical devotion. Um, be wary. I'm not saying it's wrong, but just use that sparingly, because the whole revelation of God, the Old Testament, the New Testament, all of it, law, gospel, just immerse yourself in all of it, to help avoid this fixation issue that we have. The other thing I would suggest is both of those things have to do with the word and hearing and reading the word. The other thing is your prayer life. Add old prayers, especially the Psalms, but add old prayers to your own prayers. I'm not saying don't pray your own prayers. I'm saying add to, right? Um, and if you're struggling to find old prayers, I have a lot of old prayer books that are reliable, good, and I'm happy to loan them. In fact, we have some in next door to my office here in the prayer chapel. We have private confession absolution once a month, um, but you can use the prayer chapel anytime. And there's old devotional books with old prayers in them. The easiest place to go, though, other than the Psalms, the easiest place to go is the hymnal. Right? Lots of prayers in those hymns that you can use, and we have guides that'll help you with that. We have, for example, we have one resource that's in our commons room that everybody goes in and out of when they're heading to the sanctuary for the divine service. We have a variety of resources to help you with your hymnal, but one of those resources is a resource for a hymn for every family occasion, whether it's a celebration or a tragedy or something in between. Um, we have a hymn that you can use as a prayer for those occasions. So again, we do our best to try to provide resources so that you have old prayers Um, use those things. Use those things. But by doing this, um, we're we're um, we're expanding our thinking, right? And this is different than like kind of the generic open mindedness that everybody always encourages. We're talking about fixating on God's word, but not fixating on our problems or a specific problem that's burdening us, and limiting our view of God's word because of this particular thing that's burdening us, right? Um, Open up all the scriptures, pray the prayers of the church, and by doing so, my hope is that you and I will become less fixated, um, and this will not only help us to learn more, um, to benefit more from the wealth of knowledge and wisdom that God's word provides, but it will also help us with those problems. It will also help us when we're trying to figure out how to relate to other people. Um, because the more we fixate on one thing, the less effective we're going to be at addressing that one thing. So broaden your horizons, read the scriptures, pray old prayers. That's the point. As always, looking for your feedback. Would also ask if you think there's value to this, please share it. We're our numbers are kind of going down a little bit, so I'm just talking to especially the folks at Concordia. I need for you to share this, like it, comment on this, so we can get the word out. If you think this has value, then don't just leave it. Pass it along to somebody that you think will benefit from it. If you don't think it has value, let me know that in the comments as well. If you think there's something wrong or that I missed, please mention that as well. But especially if you think this is something that needs to be heard, then it's really up to you to make sure that it's heard by sharing it. So please do that. As always, want to invite you. Not only now, I've got a thing to add. We have our Sunday morning Bible class. We are in James chapter 5. And then we have, which by the way, it's the last chapter, but we're breaking this into very small groups. And the conversation has been very interesting, very convicting and challenging. I've really enjoyed it. So we're doing that at 9 o'clock on Sundays. 10:30 is the divine service where Christ comes and gives us the gifts of forgiveness, life, and salvation. Right. So you are welcome to join us for that. And then we also, because we've entered into the season of Lent, we have a midweek meal that begins at 5:30. And we have ends at 6:15, and then at 6:30 to 7, we have a devotional service, evening prayer service with just a very brief meditation. It's a lot packed into a Wednesday, and we still try to get you out by 7 o'clock so your kids can come, still do homework, go to bed at their bedtimes, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully you'll join us. That would be swell. I don't think I have anything else. So God bless your day. God bless your week.